Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to quickly say hello to some of our folks in chat. Say hello to Jax, hello, and Richard, hello. And then the rest is all me talking, letting everyone know to be really nice to Ricky. He's sort of shy. So be friendly. If you're not, you'll have to deal with me. So today I'm going to be talking with my lovely husband, Ricky. He is my podcast guest. Hello, RC. Welcome, friend. So the way this works, just to remind everybody of the format, because we meant to do these a little closer together. However, due to Ricky not feeling well a few weeks ago, we had to delay a little bit. So reminder, please give us questions, denote them with a Q, which I will put in chat now. So denote questions with a Q. And I will star them for the end. Ricky and I will get through the questions that I had prepared for him, which are fairly straightforward and simple, and then we will switch back to audience questions. So thank you for joining me. I am going to jump into our intro and then get started with our planned show today. But reminder, if you have questions, just denote them with a Q. I will star them and come back to them during the questions and answer period. And if you have a question specifically for Ricky, please put a Q and then just put for Rick or something so I know that it is for him and not me. Otherwise, I assume I'm the star. It's all about me. Okay. So I see Ricky laughing backstage. He knows that's true. Proud of you, Richard. Who doesn't love pineapple pizza? Love it. Love it. Love to see it. Okay. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary citizens of the world, welcome. My name is Barrett Laurie, crony, humorist, IBD vlogger, and a disabled badass. Crohn's disease may have tried to knock us down, but we're here to fight back with a vengeance. We'll tackle tough topics, break down barriers to understanding, and leave no stone unturned in our quest for the truth about this infuriatingly unpredictable condition. So buckle up, my fellow gut warriors, because gut instinct is about to take you on a wild ride. No topic is off limits, no question too taboo. So bring your questions to our live Q&A at the end of every episode. Whether you're a seasoned Crohn's warrior or just starting your journey, Gut Instinct is your go-to source for all things gutsy. Get ready to laugh, cry, and maybe even throw a few punches at your own digestive system. This is Gut Instinct, where we embrace the chaos, celebrate the victories, and remind you that you are not alone in this battle. So grab your favorite heating pad, a cup of peppermint tea, and let's dive headfirst into the world of Crohn's disease. Gut instinct, because sometimes you've got to trust your gut. Hi, Tiff. Welcome. Good to see you, friend. Hello, hello. Thank you for this. Okay, so before we begin, I'm just going to remind everybody about the definition for IBD and Crohn's. I find it is helpful for those of you that are not as familiar with Crohn's disease as my poor husband has had to become. So IBD stands for inflammatory bowel disease, which is a chronic inflammatory condition that affects the digestive tract. It's characterized by inflammation and damage to the lining of the GI tract, leading to various symptoms and complications. Crohn's disease is a specific type of IBD. It's a chronic inflammatory condition that can affect any part of the GI tract from the mouth to the anus. Most commonly, Crohn's affects the small intestine and the colon. Crohn's disease is characterized by periods of flare-ups and remission, with symptoms such as stabbing abdominal pain, flaming hounds of hell diarrhea, extreme fatigue, bouts of weight loss, inflammation along the digestive tract, and in my case, anal fistulas. Hot, I know. Both IBD and Crohn's disease are autoimmune disorders, meaning that the body's immune system mistakenly attacks its healthy tissues, leading to inflammation and damage. So, that's all the information before I bring in my beautiful guest, Ricky. Hi, Ricky.
Hi, everyone.
How are you doing, honey?
Happy Sunday.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you, love.
Welcome. Hi, Eva. Welcome, Eva. Good to see you, friend. Yes, here for the butt stuff. This is the good stuff. So, Ricky, I know, he's here.
I was one of the names of your podcast. Or your
Yes.
previous episode. Yeah.
Yes, he was. Oh, goodness, Richard's already stirring the pot. Okay, so I see questions, so I am going to star them. Richard has one. I'm pretty sure that it's not serious, but we're still going to answer it because it is a question. So we've got our peppermint tea. We're ready to go. Ricky, I had you on because I wanted to ask some questions about Crohn's and spouses and how it impacts you. So talk to me a little bit about this first. First of all, thank you for doing this. Would you explain to everyone why this is hard for you? Because we were just talking about this, how you're private.
Well, I tend to live my life privately. I'm not, I guess you call, definitely an introvert. So I have stage fright too. Back in the days of trying to sing in front of people, I'd have stage performances and stuff like that. So you just have to bear with me through this. If I do
Oh,
freeze or kind of like go out of realm, if I start over talking, Barrett will, you know
oh
what
yeah.
he's doing. He'll just like, sure.
I'll pull him right off, pull him right off. Don't even worry. No,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna do great. I can't wait to hear what you have to
Thank you.
say. I've been really excited about this, and for a lot
Hmm.
of people who do subscribe and who do hang out here, they're used to
Hmm.
seeing you in parts of my vlogs and stuff. This is just, yeah, this is just sort of a fun way to get them together. And yes, my introvert, he is so perfect for me because I am not. I'm not really an introvert. Would you say I'm not an introvert, Ricky? Is that fair?
Comparatively to me, I'm like,
I know, I know, I know, I know.
yeah,
Okay.
you're the biggest extrovert I know. So we'll just put it that. Mhm.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, all right. Let's ask these questions because I promised people we try to get them out of here by 12:30 so they can like have
Okay.
lunch, enjoy their families, and do all the things. So let me ask you the
Hmm.
first question, which is this: how has my diagnosis of Crohn's disease? How has it affected our relationship?
Yeah. So it I think it definitely made us more vulnerable to look into each other to find out. It was a shock because we didn't know exactly what to do with this condition, especially during the time of being diagnosed during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic,
Yeah,
and
terrifying.
we just had to figure out what relying on the doctors to give us information and then research as much as we can on it. But it really has brought us together, I think, even closer and stronger because you're really seeing the ins and outs of the person who has the Crohn's. So, and you really have to focus on being strength for your partner, but also taking care of yourself first, making sure you can make sure that you're able to handle everything because it is an emotional roller coaster. Um, and I know that Barrett, he has an extreme case of Crohn's, so I just wanted to always make sure that he was aware that it's always been. I'm there from every single day, even if I'm busy at work. He can always text me, call me, whatever, and I have to be available for him. And even if that interrupts something that I'm doing, like I've had, like he's always been my priority because we're both each other's foundation. So we're a great couple. In my opinion, I don't know, but
No, I
other
agree.
people
I
maybe.
agree.
Yeah. So I don't. I want to keep it short. I don't want to keep talking like long in each
Oh,
question, but I know you're on a time crunch. But I think
well,
that's the basis of it. And
I agree with you 100%. I think
yeah.
you're always open. There are so many times where I email him because I go into spiral mode, which you guys don't really see because I, for smart reasons, edit that out of vlogs. But poor Ricky sees the highs and lows of Crohn's. So like when I'm denied the pre-authorization stuff, for example, Rick. I mean, how many times did you get like very spiral text messages or, just because I'm emotional about all of it
Yeah.
and you're kind of my safe place. So I can kind of go to you with my craziest, just when I'm at my wit's end. And I know when I'm there and you kind of
Yeah.
sense it and try to get me
Mhm.
back on to a normal path of not crazy.
Yeah, it's
Um,
calmed down with yeah, because we have some experience now. Because it is in retrospect, like when you first get denials from insurance companies
mm,
or we're going to approve this, it's like, oh my
soul
gosh, are they
crushing.
completely take it away from us? Or like,
Yeah,
what is going to happen with the medicine and approvals
terrifying.
and doctor visits and like, what's going to happen? It's the unknown. But I'm glad that you're doing this podcast, husband, again, to people out there that really need to hear it. So,
Why, thank you. Thank you. I'm just so glad that you uh, were willing to talk to me because you are so quiet and private and you don't like any of the
mhm.
stuff that I do, but you do it for me, which I love. I can imagine the variance of the Barrett we see in Flair and the Barrett Ricky sees in Flair. It's different. There's a part of me that wants to show some of that at some point, and I want to say hi to Esther too. Hi, friend. Don't forget, Esther has Romance Writers Room, the spinoff of Writers Room this afternoon at 2 uh, Central Time. So shout out to that. I will edit it out of the podcast stuff. But anyway, give it for those that are live. It is a lot different. I think Ricky sees the ugly stuff, and not even the stuff that I'll tease about, but like when I had the seton, when Ricky had to like literally I'd have to get on the bed and spread cheek and put on his little hat with the light and like look in there to see if I had infection. We go from
Yeah.
that all the way, which thankfully we've passed,
Mhm.
to now just the mental impact of when there are denials and such. You know what I mean? It's really heavy. Hey Shannon, good to see you, friend. Thanks for stopping in. It's really heavy, and I think that the other thing I think besides just pre-authorization stuff that sometimes you hear from me is the little frustrations, like when I have a hard time getting prescriptions. This just happened recently, which is why this is front of mind. um, I noticed that I have less patience with roadblocks with the disease than you do. I think you're much more patient. Like I automatically go to, oh, my prescription hasn't gone through. I guess I'll stop taking the medicine and die in 2 weeks. And you're always like, or I could just put a note in the calendar and remind you at work when you're busy to go ahead and call the doctor and refill the prescription. And I'm like,
Mhm.
sure, that'll work too, but it's not as fun as my dramatic. Well, I guess I'll just die then.
I know. So I have to give you time to recircle back. It's like, oh, maybe that's not what I should do. Yeah. You just have to
Ah,
go. It's venting. So let your
yeah,
partner, let your significant other, let your husband, spouse, wife
me too.
vent. Get it out of their
Same,
system. Yeah, and
same.
they'll circle back around. Like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should get that prescription ordered. I'll let my husband remind me.
Right. Instead of go off the prescription and
Yeah,
like bleed
right,
out and die. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I mean, I think that's the balance you kind of bring for me on that. And I think that's important too. So
Yeah.
talking about that, what do you think is the biggest challenge that you faced as the spouse of someone with chronic illness, Crohn's disease? Like what's the biggest thing you've had to overcome?
I think knowledge, like becoming knowledgeable about how to deal not just with Crohn's, but it is a disability. I mean, you go through spouts where you have low energy to being upset stomach, like constant. Um, it sometimes can last for days, especially close to your treatment infusions.
Infusion.
When
Yeah,
right before your treatments, like you go through some spouts. So I have
I
to
know.
recognize that. What was the question again? I already forgot.
Uh, your
I go
biggest,
in my own head. Okay, this is one of
your
the things. I go in my own head.
just
I
your
can't remember.
no, just your biggest
Yeah,
challenge. What do you think the biggest
yeah.
challenge is that
So
you
just
don't think
that's what it is. It's just okay. Now I remember. It's like it's just basically let you have to be in so much communicate. You have to be very communicative with your significant other on what they're feeling, what's going on, their symptoms, and being there for them, but also being reliant on self educating yourself on this condition or any disability. Read on it. Um, get many factors like second opinions, doctors, like
yes,
your
that.
reliance on all the knowledge you can. That's the biggest. And experience, you're just going to have to go through it. You have no other choice. So,
Right.
but to roll with the punches and just think of it as one step each way. You'll get through it temporarily and then it's good. So, and then, just keep going through it, the motions, and eventually, I don't know, you come out a little better. So,
I like that answer. How do you think that you
thank you.
support me emotionally in
Mhm.
like a flare? Like when I'm having those
Mhm.
times where I send you those text, like when you're at work and you get the
Mhm.
text message from me that you know is a spiral of drama. Um like I always wonder what is going on the other end of the phone. So like
Which
what
one?
happens?
Yeah. uh,
Let's just stay in the realm of
I'll
my
pick.
disease
Yeah.
for today, and then we'll go into all my other crazy in a future episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So the question is how do I keep you emotionally intact from going off the deep end and like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, those
Well,
moments.
I have to recognize that you're going through it. So first, like, so, and that's it. Great. Barrett is a great communicator, so he will and he's open about everything. So he just tells me um, when things are happening and things like that. So I give him his space to let him do what he needs to do. I don't know, punching, uh, punching a bag or something like that, any kind of aggression. He needs
I
to get in
know
there
that
and
happens
write,
sometimes.
like write on his own. I leave him alone, and if he needs anything, he knows I'm there. I check on him. So
You do
yeah,
give me a lot of space,
I do.
because that is
So I know you
one
need
thing.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be curious to see with other, like, as we interview some other Crohn's people in the future, I'll be
Hmm.
curious to see if they're the same as me in that way. But there are times, like,
That's true.
especially when I'm in flare, where like I come in here in my office, shut the door, and kind of do my own thing, sometimes even a whole day, and you
Hmm.
just kind of let me be. You check in to see
Right.
if I need food or water.
Yeah, and you're going through the
But
flares, so I'll help out around the house when you can't, and I'll do things that you need, run an errand. If we need to run and get some food, I'll go get some food. Yeah,
yes,
I'll
yes, that's
take
true.
Briley on a walk. If you
Oh,
can't make it, I mean, yeah, I mean,
yes.
it
You can do
happens
a Briley
sometimes.
check. How is she? Is she behind you? Or did she move?
She's sleeping. Yeah.
Here, show her.
Do
Do you
you
have
want
your
me
phone? Are you
to?
on your?
Okay.
Yeah, show her. While I ask the next question, you can give a little. There she
I
is,
don't know
guarding.
if you can. Oh my gosh, my hands
Oh
in the
yeah,
way.
you can. I can hear her
Hold
snoring.
on.
Is that what you
Wrong
mean?
side?
Yeah, that's the wrong way.
This is entertaining in its own, huh? Okay, here.
Oh, see, that's our heart and soul right there. That is our heart and soul. Okay, what
Yeah.
tips do you think you have for maintaining a strong and healthy relationship as you navigate chronic illness?
Um, I you have to take care of yourself emotionally, physically,
Mm,
eating right, and you can't beat yourself up to when you're not at your 100% because you're not. Like we're all human. So even as somebody who's trying to be a caretaker and make sure, yeah, I mean everybody has their own problems. Um, it doesn't have to be just relation to Crohn's, and even though Crohn's is a beast of its own, it's just, yeah, you have to make sure you can take care of yourself to help the other person. And
it's
yeah,
the put the mask on your own face, right? Like on the
yes,
airplane, like you have to put the mask
right,
on yourself before you can help someone else.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
otherwise, I'm no use to anybody if I can't keep myself stable. Hmm.
right. So, what would you say is a lifestyle change that maybe you've had to make to
Hmm.
accommodate my needs about Crohn's? So, any
Um,
lifestyle changes? I can think of a big one if you don't talk about it,
okay, go
but
ahead.
you go ahead. No, you first.
Oh, okay. Lifestyle changes. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of
Drinking,
something. We
drinking.
did stop drinking. Yeah,
Quitting drinking.
yeah,
That's the biggest
right.
one, and it seems small. And
Thank
that one
God we
didn't
did.
necessarily. Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We quit drinking before the Crohn's stuff really started to like try to figure out what the diagnosis was. However, I still, now that I've looked at like my Crohn's story and how
Right.
long it was over my life compared to the diagnosis period,
Hmm.
I am still sure that quitting drinking helped me immensely ahead of my diagnosis anyway, because that is one thing that isn't really isn't talked about enough, is just the impact of alcohol on Crohn's disease,
Hmm.
specifically just because of the inflammation it causes. So, as well as the additional stress on your liver and kidneys, which are already kind of in bad shape due to Crohn's, if you have Crohn's flares uncontrolled anyway. So, I think the drinking was the one that I thought of immediately. But we've tried lots of things over the years as far as different types of diets and trying to be active when I'm feeling my best. That one we haven't been as good about here in Columbia, but we were much better about in St. Louis.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was the
I
one I thought of was
miss living
drinking.
right next to a park where
Yeah,
we used to be able to just walk out of our house right into a beautiful park. But, I mean, that was too much perfection.
I
I
know
don't
you
know.
love Tower Grove.
Can't always live right next to a park.
We actually just had this
Could drive to it, I
conversation
guess, but yeah,
this week.
or
I mean,
walk
we actually just
if
talked
you
about that
close.
this
Hmm.
week.
Yeah,
Missing that physical aspect.
I know. Yeah.
What would you say? How do you yourself handle stress like, and the
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty that comes from living with a chronic illness like Crohn's as a couple. So like, how do you deal with the health stress
Mm-hmm.
that Crohn's causes? Like, what do you do for yourself?
Well, I have to recognize it then when I'm having my spouts myself. So with the tension of it, you kind of just feel a little down and like maybe a little overwhelmed or tired. So I have to make sure I get enough sleep and I get in a routine. Routine is so important now. That's another lifestyle change, I'd say. Routine, it's going to bed at a certain time, getting up at a certain time, taking care of things, certain ways. So yeah, I think routine's a big thing. Yeah, getting enough sleep. Try to eat healthy if you can. I like a pizza, just like everybody, any other normal person. But can't always have pizza every day.
I wish we could.
Little
I
stuff like
really
that.
wish we could. Sorry about that. Do
Yeah.
you, what do you think is something that, so you do a lot of prioritizing your own self, which
Hmm.
I encourage because you need to. But recently you had a
Yes.
health change in your life where you
Hmm.
started a medication because of a health issue,
Yeah.
um, which isn't a big secret one, but you had a blood pressure issue. So you started taking a medication. And
Hmm.
actually, him not feeling well on that medication is partially what caused us to delay this. But think through that, Ricky. How do
Right.
you think going through my healthcare stuff helped you prepare for this change in your health?
Well, um, I don't know. So I feel like we both have different mechanics of, uh, I guess they're similar but also different to each other. But I feel I can only be empathetic versus sympathetic to your condition,
Yeah,
because I can only see from the outside of how much pain you're going through. So I had to
yeah,
change my attitude towards this is not all about you.
yeah.
This is about my husband. This is about what I can do to be a strong person and to um, really take light of the fact that he's going to have a lifelong condition, but it doesn't define us. It doesn't define our relationship. It doesn't define, you know, how much we love each other. So I had to take a step back and just say, hey, every day I'm going to take it one step at a time. And I'm going to focus on what matters in our life. I think Chunkers was a big part of that when we started adding more
Yes,
family, because
yes.
we did
Agree.
decide not to have humans. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
so he is our human. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. And maybe we'll have another one. We'll see.
yeah, yeah. You heard it here
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
we'll see. Yeah.
so how do
So,
you communicate effectively with
hmm.
me
Yes.
about symptoms or treatment changes when they come?
Hmm.
Like, what would if you were talking to someone else, a spouse
Right.
of someone else going through a chronic condition, what would you say is your most effective way of communicating with me about those things?
Listening. Yeah. I have to listen and to make sure that I'm hearing exactly what's going on and that it's not that you're going to stop taking your pills and I don't know. Uh, I don't
That was
know.
one little
You're.
drama.
I'm
One
listening.
little
Oh, you're not.
drama.
Oh, you're gonna stop taking your pills. I don't really think so. You have to like. You can't be so serious. Like, oh, okay, like, oh, he's just gonna stop taking his
Uh,
pills and everything's gonna go downhill from here. You're just gonna basically be there for them. I don't know. I think listening and just basically listening, and then when you're ready, if they ask for some advice, give it. But you're not always there for a solution. You're not always there to give them advice. It's like they just sometimes
ah,
need to vent. They sometimes
oh my
just need
gosh.
to cry. Sometimes they, I don't know. Yeah. So.
That is my freaking love language right there.
Hmm.
Write that one down, friends. That is something I struggle with only because, and this is, my mom is someone I'm going to interview in the future. I love my mom, but the biggest difference between my mom and Rick in their emotional support of Crohn's is Rick has learned to not be a solution for me to all my problems. Because one of the things that my mom and I struggle with is and I have this too, a habit of doing this. I'm a solution finder. So like when someone presents me a problem, I'm looking for a solution instead of sometimes doing the active listening thing and just letting someone like vent. So Ricky's really good about asking me like, do you want advice or do you just want to, bark at the moon and me be here for it? And I'm like the second one. And then he knows, okay, he's just, spouting off. Right.
Yeah.
Where my mom doesn't have that ability. She just starts offering solutions, which sometimes drives me bananas.
Right.
But
Knowing
I
your
recognize I
strengths.
do it too.
Yeah.
Right.
I think knowing your strengths is problem solving already. I know that is you, and your mother's great at it too. Yeah.
I know.
I don't always
just
need to be
annoy
the
me.
hero in every single situation.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on, Ricky.
Which
Yes,
I
you
want,
do.
I feel like you already provide me with enough attention on all that, but I don't. Yeah.
You just got a thumbs up. You just did the thumbs up, right? Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Oh.
It worked
No.
on your screen. It worked on your screen when you put your thumb up.
Does mine
Okay,
do
sorry, I
that?
got distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. You just have to put it over against the wall long enough for it to register. There you go.
Okay. Gotcha.
What role does self-care play in our relationship as we navigate the challenges of Crohn's disease together? And more specifically, what is your self-care?
Yeah, my self-care is, I think I was mentioning it earlier, but I don't want to repeat too much of that, but also add on to it is taking care of yourself with the sleep routine and eating healthier. Try to exercise. I'm not so good up at that, but we're going to develop a better plan and it's always evolving. So you're always evolving to something better. Like, I guess my next plan is to try to yoga and try to stick to yoga. I'm getting there because I'm not much of a weightlifter, even though that my doctor told me to start doing that. Just get in some sort of exercise every day, but be emotion like for me, I think it just depends on the person. I think for me, I might be different from other people, but emotionally, I have to be sound. So meditation, blocking out the noise that not from just the condition here we have at home, and it's just everything around you. The world can be chaotic, but if you focus on your inward self and what we can do and just say, hey, I'm in control of what I can control. I can't control everything around me. I probably don't want to do that, but I can control what I do. So that's the biggest aspect, is help people. Yeah.
I love that. All right, your
Be
last
happy.
question.
Try to be happy.
Your last question, and then we're throwing it to some of the audience questions.
Sure.
Last question. How has your perspective on love and commitment evolved through your experience as the spouse of someone with a chronic illness?
Yeah. I think
So your
it definitely gave us a closer emotional bond. I don't know why that is entirely, but I can second guess to say, hey, when bad things happen, there is so much good that can come out of it. And that's the part I think people sometimes miss. It's like
yes.
we grew closer to each other because we wanted to make sure that we were both okay.
Right.
Because I'm not 100% perfect. He knows he's also there for me when I am there for him, even, yeah, even other times besides his Crohn's. If I'm having
Yeah.
a spout with family or friends and he's there to like give me some of the best advice I've ever had in my life. Yeah, it's one of the reasons
I
why
mean,
I married my
I
husband.
think
But
so, but I don't know if
yeah,
you think that. And then, of course, we could tell them about the time that I didn't
yeah.
think you had appendicitis and you did, and then had to have emergency
Mm.
surgery. Let's not talk about that.
Do you want me to say anything? Yeah,
Well, that
that
wasn't me
was.
being my best emotionally supportive self, was it?
You were
When
just
I was
going
like,
base. You're
tough
basing
it.
yourself on your own knowledge and experience,
Well,
stuff like
because
that.
when my
So
appendix ruptured, I threw up
yes,
everywhere and was like violently
right.
ill, but you were not. So I was like, tough it up, slap a band-aid on it, you'll be
Yes,
fine. 18 hours later, it was being
mine
removed.
didn't
Okay,
abruptly rupture like yours
I
did.
was wrong. Okay, I was wrong.
At that
Occasionally it
moment, it did. Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Oh, bless.
So.
No, that's kind of funny looking back at it in hindsight,
Mhm.
especially since you looked up my butt with a flashlight. Okay,
Mhm.
let's get some of these questions. We had some good ones. Does it affect any other punctuation marks along the colon? No, Richard. It is only the colon that it affects. It leaves the period alone. Eva says it's always been a part of your life. Yes, right? It has. Oh, this was Eva saying, yes, you were so open about your Crohn's from the start. I often forget the diagnosis was recent. It was. What's wild about it though is, and I talked about this on the first one, but when I look back at my Crohn's journey and I looked at my health records, there were so many indicators in those health records from when I was little onward that probably should have been a diagnosis much sooner, but it is what it is. Question for Ricky. Do you get me an Easter basket?
Do I get Barrett an Easter basket? Have I ever gotten you an Easter basket?
No, but your mom did one time.
Yeah. Barrett and
I would
I are
love
not
it.
much of like, I guess we're not very festive, are we?
We're not
With
gift people,
holidays
no.
and stuff like that. But
No.
maybe we should. Maybe this is one of our next evolving things that
I
we
would
should
take an Easter basket.
Yeah.
I will for sure give you the things I want in my Easter basket. Like, no doubt about that.
Yeah,
the
we can
flashlight
mention what
is
you would
so
exclude
real.
from the Easter basket. Not like is everything of Easter good? A
I
lot of it
know,
is.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, remember the Easter egg Reese's are my favorites. Hey, cool gamer, good to see you,
Yes.
friend. Rachel, I know everyone's saying hi. Yeah, no, I'm big. The gift thing is interesting because we actually don't do that, and I don't know why, but we don't really even do a lot for Christmas and stuff. We're more, you know, what we do is we do things like we'll
We
have
spend time together.
yeah,
Yeah,
like we'll take a trip and go away to
absolutely.
somewhere special or have dinner somewhere we like together or order out from somewhere we like and eat at home. Like
Mhm.
that's more our speed.
That's a gift to me. Yeah, I'm like, ooh, give me some good Chinese food. Yeah, I'm all about it. Something.
Well, it's a gift to you until I'm gassy and farting up that bed later. Tiffany says, I feel like Morgan and I have seen this in action in the way Ricky is there, but also gives space when needed. That's true. That's true. They did see it in action because he stayed away that whole 3 days they were here, except for
They
like dinners
did.
and stuff. He gave us space
Friends are
to hang.
important. Yeah.
Yes. Barrett, what is the one thing Ricky's done for you that you hope to do just as well when Ricky has health issues? Which, by the way, he will have health issues. We're in our 40s, like, you know, folks develop things as they go. The number one thing he's done for me, great question, Shannon, love it. Definitely for me, this one would be, I mean, the obvious is unconditional love, which he has already got that for me anyway. But I could be much more patient. I'm not super patient, especially when it comes to diagnosis and things. I kind of want it like now, now, now. And I want to know, and I'm a solution finder. We've already established this. So I'm usually looking for the plan or whatever the plan needs to be. And Ricky's really good about not doing that and just like saying, whoa, let's slow down, let's process, let's figure out what we need to do. I could be much better at that. So that's something I would like to improve upon. Can't promise that I will, but I'd like to. Question for Ricky. Do you like our pork chops medium rare? This is because Eva said you remind her a lot of her husband and they're going to invite us for summer barbecue. They live in St. Louis. So do you like your
Yeah.
pork chops medium rare? No, they're asking this story because I told them
You
about
actually,
cooking
I
you
don't know if
pork
anybody
chops,
knows, but I really, really like pork chops.
but
I
not,
don't know if I've had it medium rare,
you
but
have. I
I could
gave them
try
to you
it.
under, they're
Have I?
making fun
Okay.
of, they're making fun
Maybe.
of me. No, they're making
Oh,
fun of me because they were undercooked. Remember, like pork
oh,
chops, you
shoot.
have to cook through
Oh,
or
you
else you get
can't. See,
sick.
this is why he's the cook. I would have killed her. Killed her.
No, I almost killed you multiple times.
But I've actually cooked a lot of pork chops in my life. I kind of remember
Yeah,
that back in
just
the day
not medium
before you.
rare.
I just like you cooking because you're the better cook. I don't want.
I
Yeah.
don't know about that either. That's not necessarily true. Um, I did get out my crock pot and I did try the meal. Rachel's been sending me recipes
I
actually.
love a
Some
good
two of the
crock pot
ones
meal.
I
Yeah.
know, two of the meals we tried recently were some of hers. Yeah, they're not supposed to be eaten medium rare, Eva. He didn't even remember that was a problem.
Right. Aren't you supposed to cook it like 165, 170 degrees or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, it definitely should not have pink, which
Yeah.
yours did that day, and we were like,
Like,
stop
yeah,
eating it
that's supposed
immediately.
to be pink inside.
It's not. It's not. It's going to give you a different kind of illness, a
Oh,
foodborne.
yeah.
So, well, Ricky, thank you for doing this. I appreciate you. I know this was a little scary for you because live and people, and you didn't remember that I told you it would be live until about 30 minutes before when you were like, wait a minute, people will be there for this. And I was like, yes,
Right.
they will. So thank
Yeah.
you for being brave and coming and doing this.
My pleasure, Bob.
This is true. You should fry it. Agree. It was delicious. You did great,
Yes.
Ricky. You did great.
Mhm.
Yes. So anyway, for those of you that want to see more Ricky, occasionally he pops up in vlogs with me, not for very long because he doesn't like the camera. He says things like, hi, Ricky, when I say hi, Ricky. So, but He'll show up from time to time. I'm sure there will be a point in the future where I will drag you back on here to talk about some other issue. Crohn's, love, laughter, all the things. But thank you for doing this. I love you to pieces. And thank everyone out there for coming and watching us. We appreciate you and being kind and friendly. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be interviewing coming up next my mom in a couple of weeks. I've got Morgan is one of the people I'm going to reach out to come on with me. And I'm asking a few other people around the tubes to join me for conversations about Crohn's. So I look forward to talking to all of you then. Thanks for hanging out for Gut Instincts. And please do not forget to hang out with the Romance Writers Room later today at 2 p.m. I will see y'all later, and bye.